Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin.
Yeah! I just crap my pants. I've got moves, man.
All right, it is a happy May 26th. We're about officially almost halfway through 2021. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And we're done. Thanks for tuning in.
Let's log out.
Yeah.
Not much, man. Just doing that daily grind.
That's right. It goes quicker.
Weekly grind.
It feels like every year.
It is.
So what days are the hardest for you guys at work? Do you have specific days where you dread, or are they all the same? Richard's like, yeah, sometimes I have to play 3 video games.
Well, some days I run out of milk for my Fruity Pebbles.
Sometimes I don't have the milk with my Pop-Tart.
It depends on how many meetings I have. It's like you break up my video game day. Come on.
Can you not just like play while you're
Sometimes I can. Yeah, sometimes you gotta pay attention though to the meeting.
So do you do a lot of Zoom calls and whatnot?
Oh yeah, we do. We mainly do Google Meets, but yeah, there's some Zoom thrown in there, but same thing.
Right. So now, and I'm assuming that's new because of COVID and all that, or were you doing that beforehand?
We kind of had that beforehand, but not as much, So yeah, I mean, when I started with the company, it was like in November, so COVID was full.
Oh, that's true.
Pretty much, already there. And when I worked for Altec, we were a national company, so we were constantly in Teams meetings, anyways, whenever we had one.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm just real curious what's going to happen because with I know it's opening up a whole lot more, so I'm just kind of real curious to see. I'm assuming traffic's going to pick up on my way to work, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm more interested in how many people are actually going back.
Yeah, I go back Tuesday.
So you're gonna go back? You didn't get another job in time?
I'm not gonna do that to him, man. I'm not that scrupulous. I did tell my manager. I did have a conversation with my manager about the timeline, but that's really it.
Really? So you are moving on already?
I basically was just like, look, man, I really like working from home, but I don't want to duck out on y'all like this, so I'll give you 2 years.
2 years isn't bad.
I'll give you 2 years. So you could either, if you decide you want to keep me and you want to put me full time at home, then that's cool. But if not, then I'm gonna move on probably. So
sometimes I think that's how you have to be.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a proven good worker or you're doing your job or, I don't know, I guess everybody can be, replaceable, but sometimes I think, cause I feel like I've always done the opposite where I'm just like, well, I would like to pay a raise, of course, but if you tell me you can't, then I guess you can't, and just kind of, I should have been more like, all right, well, I can't live like this, so I'm gonna go find a new job or whatever. But
I mean, that's the best way to get a pay raise is, get another job. It's you can get a 15 to 20% raise in pay if you go just get another job versus if you're crazy and you're maybe 5% if you're lucky, and that's, promotion.
Yeah. Because I feel like, and then I just feel like that's how the corporate world works too. I mean, even in the situation I'm in, like part of it irritates me that you're bringing somebody from outside of the company to do a job that I've basically been doing, and this person has no expertise. Like why, I mean, I'll be willing to work with anybody, but it's a little irritating, Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what that person coming in is getting paid, but sometimes they end up lowballing that person.
They try to tell me that when I was going through the job interview, but I don't know if I really believed him
And then
on the
and
money
then
on the money figures.
and sometimes they are getting an overqualified person, so they think that they're winning. You know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
winning on their aspect.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few reasons they do that. And, the first one being is they just want an external perspective to come in and take a look at the
Yeah,
business
that
from their business perspective. And then the second reason they do it is like what Kevin said. Sometimes they will hire someone they know is overqualified with the intention of bumping them up quickly. If they succeed in this role, I've seen that happen in many instances. So, I mean, it varies. I mean, I also know a lot of companies that do hire internal. The company I'm at now and a few companies I've been at previously. I mean, I know when I was with Blue Green, Kevin, I got promoted 6 times internally.
see.
So it's just
Yeah, that's awesome.
it varies.
I think it's also finding a job where there are promotions. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of feel like yeah, there could possibly be a promotion for me, but it's probably gonna be years down the road. When it's
Yeah,
I don't know.
sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky and you find a growing company, I'm gonna go back to Blue Green, of course. When I started there, we had a call center of maybe 40 people, and by the time I left, the call center was 200 people. So
Wow.
we boomed. So
Yeah.
a lot of it's dumb luck, right? You just kind of happen to
Yeah.
fall into a job that's small, and then they grow pretty quickly. Some of that is that, and from conversations we've had about your place, Blake, it looks like it's probably going to be growing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I don't know, man. Just to be real, I have days where I just go, I'm spending how many hours at this place, driving there, driving home, getting home, having maybe 20 minutes to myself throughout this day, all for what? Like, I mean, I'm not depressed or anything. It's not like it's a depressed. I mean, there's times where I feel successful in the job. Like I feel like there's parts of it that I've kind of said all along that I feel like I do good at, definitely the customer service aspect of things. But then there's the other part of me. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not you. This isn't your, like I have more to offer, I feel like, but once again, it's like, I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to even look. It's just that frustrating.
You might need like a career coach. I think maybe we brought this up to you before. There are people
Yeah.
out there, they'll give you like a pretty extensive mentality test and kind of gauge your interests and kind of give you a good idea of probably where you could land, in terms of, because there are things out there there are things out there I have no idea ever existed, from hopping job to job. You're like, oh well,
Right.
the thing, and what I do now never didn't even exist when I was in college. So it's just you there's just no way of knowing what's out there unless you maybe talk to somebody, you know.
Right. And I guess part of me feels like, because I've been in the trucking industry for so long, this is kind of like my second attempt into the trucking company with it, or trucking industry, I should say, with a different company. This is strictly trailers, but transportation, I should say. So yeah, so I mean, at least I made a jump, and that's good. But now I'm just kind of like, unless something really opens up here that I see that I like. I mean, like I said, there's aspects where, okay, I'm doing good at this or whatever, but then there's just times where I'm just like, what am I doing? So is that common? I mean, is that
I
I
think
don't
it's dependent on where you're at because every company is set up different. Like I will say for my company, like you can set goals for yourself. Like they have a program that you
Mhm.
set goals. Where do you want to be at? What do you want to learn? Like, but you take the initiative to do it. But the program's still nice to see it and you talk it over with your manager because each employee has to talk it over with their manager every year on, hey, this is where you're at. This is the goals that you set. Did you accomplish these goals? Why didn't you accomplish these goals? What do you want to do this coming year to change and get to where you want to be, right? And
right.
I forget what it's called, but they have a list of characteristics that describe yourself and define, and you put that stuff right there. So I think there's other places like that. I'm pretty sure that are like they have maybe a tree or something like, hey, this is how you get to this position, This is
Right.
how you get to that are more structured. I want to know, is it structure you're looking for, or do you want to like it? Like, what do
I,
you need?
I
Sometimes I think
it's
you got to ask yourself, what do you need?
um you know, I don't know, man. Like there's still part of me that feels like some type of sales, but I get picky with that because I still want my time to help out with the kids and all that. And some sales jobs, kind of take you into the evening or whatever. But um I mean, I don't know. I always say it, when I'm doing photo shoots and stuff, that's when I feel like I'm most on my game, when I'm doing weddings and just interacting and, it's more fun. It's not standing behind a desk and staring at a screen or whatever. But like as far as the company, there's really not a position I look at and go, "Ooh, that's my goal. That's where I want to go." I think it I don't know if it's the line of work I'm in, the field of work, or if like maybe I don't know. That's the frustrating part. That's the drive home a lot. Is just like, all right, if you're going to make a move, where are you going to make? And I had these exact same conversations before this job. So
Right, right.
it's just, it's that's the frustrating part where it's just like you think you're about to get in a better position, which I'm not saying it. If anybody's listening that works there, I'm not knocking the company. I'm learning and I'm growing in it, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of feel like I'm at that point where it's like, all right, are you gonna jump or are you gonna really kind of try to toughen this out and see where it goes? So,
Yeah.
because like you said, it is the company is growing and they may be putting a Southside branch. So, you know, but I say that
Yeah, I mean,
I say that, but I'm like, okay, cool. If there's a Southside branch, do I still want to be doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I appreciate a good opportunity, but it's like, is this really in the end? Am I still not going to be fulfilled simply because of just what I'm doing? So, I don't know,
I
man.
think bottom line, you need to challenge yourself and give yourself more time because you really haven't been here that long. Just set
Right.
set some goals, regardless of if you want to be there or not. Just give yourself a timeline. You know what I'm saying? So, because I mean, even like I think we talked about this before. Like, even me and Richard have reassessed. Like, this was the position I'm in is where I wanted to be, and that was the end all be all. And now I'm just like, all right, like I've outgrown this, so I need to challenge myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's good.
you're meant to reassess and keep changing goals. Like that's just being a person.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's something I've always lacked because I mean I feel like I've always not necessarily struggled with jobs, but maybe progressing in jobs. Maybe I haven't really like I just showed up and worked. I was always on time. I never missed. I I just showed up and I worked and I went home. It's just kind of always been my thing. But you know I don't know. Maybe it's just making work more of. I mean, I was gonna say make it more of your life, but shit, it already takes up
Yeah, I don't want to make it more of
90%.
my life. I
Yeah.
like my job because I don't take it home.
Yeah. I don't want to take it home. Yeah.
Right.
So I think some of it too is just having that, fulfillment at the end of the day that you feel like you accomplish something or you help somebody or and sometimes I have those days, but a lot of times it just feels, I moved around some trailers and that was about it, so, but anyways, I didn't even plan on talking about that.
Man, I don't even know how we spun off on that, but that was a good one.
I don't either. Oh, we got the wheel. Look at
you ready for
this. I
the
didn't even
We
wheel?
ain't
know.
even we ain't even touched the wheel yet.
All right. I know we're like over 10 minutes in.
Dang.
That's a good talk, Blake.
Hmm.
All right,
Why is there so
Blake, I
much
know you
many
don't
more
have much to
white
contribute.
ones and other colors?
I know you won't have much to contribute here, Blake, but we're gonna.
I'm the biggest NBA fan.
You're the
You were
NBA
so,
advocate and know
you were
nothing
so
about it.
excited at the beginning of the season, like you would not shut up about the NBA. Like
it,
and now it's like, what did Anthony Davis do? He
which team
literally,
is he on?
he literally crane kicked a dude in the nuts, and you're just like,
Oh
what?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So do you wake up and look for highlights and watch highlights and stuff?
So part of my ritual of waking up is looking at the front page of Reddit and then looking at the front page of ESPN and then looking at my RSS feed. and just kind of seeing like what in general is going on. Because a few of the things I've learned, and like we're, just kind of talked about a job here, was where you work. Like one of the most important things is being able to make conversation and not necessarily about the win, right? Everybody talks about sports generally, and everybody talks about, generic news items.
Right. The big headlines.
The big headlines, right. So, and then also the other thing other people talk about is what happened last night on reality TV. Like, you just, the first thing I do when I wake up is I hit those 3 really hard just so I know and I can carry a conversation. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good for today.
That's really it. Yeah. So
that's where you get because you're not sitting there watching games.
No, I don't think I've watched a full NBA game in probably about 5 years.
Yeah, dang. I think you've told me that you mostly look at box scores and
I said
it really tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I sent you guys a screenshot of what happened, and I was like, well, this is what happened with the Clippers.
Oh yeah,
Paul George and Leonard, had 25, 40 points.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team were single digits. So they're not getting out because they traded those 2 guys away who were basically their bench. So
I mean, it really, so fantasy basketball always gets me super pumped. I love playing fantasy. I love the draft. Like that's kind of my favorite part. And then doing that, but like, as far as watching the games, I mean, not to say this every single week, I just really, by the time it's time to sit down to watch it, it's hard to really get into a game, and then I'll wake up the next morning and sometimes I'll check a highlight. But I mean, I probably went 2 months where it was just like, I would see a basketball article and just skip. Like I wouldn't even read the headlines. Like, I think not so much of that. I just think everything. Like, I got sick of the notifications. Just like every time I looked at my phone, it was distracting me, Yeah, exactly. I mean, our group chat alone keeps me busy, dude. I remember when I was on vacation, I remember looking down at my phone one time and there's like 52 unread messages.
You're welcome.
I was like, there's no way I'm getting through this. I think at one point, I think my first reply was, I didn't read any of it, but I agree with all of it.
I don't remember what we were talking about either.
I mean, everything. It's what we do. We are our own app. You know what I'm saying? We notify each other of, So I think there are times where I'm like an article will come up or something. I'm like, oh, I'll just wait for one of the guys to mention it, and then and I've been busier at work too. So, less time on the phone, but
it's all good.
But I'm pumped. I do love the playoffs. I do like, so what about you, Kevin? What's your kind of daily routine?
So a lot of times I found the trick to where, hey, I wake up at 4:30. So sometimes I've been getting on the bike in the morning, or a lot of times I'll just lay on the couch until like 5:15 and then get ready for work. But TNT and ESPN both do like the replays of like the last West Coast game, and it's always in like the fourth quarter at like 4:30. So I can watch like the last couple of minutes of that and kind of summarize the game. I've been actually like falling asleep to games here lately.
Oh, that's the best thing to do.
And I was watching the Knicks game just because it's so hype and like it looks so awesome to have all the fans there. And
are they though? I think
because I saw the 75% capacity.
Yeah, that the MSG is packed.
Yeah, I think it's
okay. Now, were the stands like right above the bench full? Because the game I saw the other day was cut out.
Yeah, they gave space right there. They still got the space right there, but they still have like don't they have 4 seats for like Spike Lee and all them guys?
Yep, Spike Lee.
Yeah. So I mean, the atmosphere is back. You can tell the fans are crazy. A lot of the fans on there before the pregame were saying, "Yeah, we spent like $1,000 of tickets and just to get in, and they've been giving away Nets tickets."
Really?
So, So
that's crazy, dude. Dude, isn't that crazy? How crazy is it that like the Nets have this like super team and they're supposed to be the new team in New York and everyone's going crazy over the Knicks right now.
They always see the Knicks in New York, man. Like
I know.
I feel like the Brooklyn Nets are kind of a mistake to have a team there because everybody in New York is a diehard Knicks fan. right?
Yeah, the Nets have no choice, or have no chance.
It's like Chicago. It's like the Cubs and the White Sox, right?
Yeah. Nobody thinks about the White Sox. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
true.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, I guess it wasn't that bad in the '90s when we were growing up because they were based out of New Jersey, right? But yeah, nobody cares about the Nets.
Yeah,
The Knicks right now.
So who's we'll talk about the matchups real quick and then we can move on. So we got looks like the Bucks are handling Miami, right? They're up 2-0. And then I saw Lakers beat Phoenix yesterday.
Chris Paul's out in that game, so we got to remember that.
Chris, so what happened? I'm kind of happy to see him doing good on another team. Like he really has kind of shown how elite he is. Because I mean, I guess you can't say any of his teams have won, right? But
they're always right there.
He makes teams better. I don't really like Chris Paul. There's just something about his attitude I don't like. But yeah, it's kind of good to see him do good. Is there anyone that you guys are cheering for?
Anybody but the LA team.
Both
LA teams.
Anybody but both LA teams.
I am so tired of LA teams at this point.
It'd be kind of cool to see the Suns. I don't see the Suns doing it. I like to see Giannis get one.
I mean, it would be nice to see like the Bucks and the Suns. Like
that'd be interesting.
Because the Brooklyn Nets thing is just really it really turned me off. And like, granted, I mean, okay, I haven't really watched the whole game in a long time, but
right.
I mean, I'm still, I still consider myself someone who enjoys reading about the NBA and watching clips and stuff like that. It's just the whole thing is like, man, the NBA's got to do better about getting these guys spread out. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's a stacked team, dude. I mean, that is 3 bona fide superstars on that team, man.
Yeah, those are 3 Hall of Famers.
But Blake Griffin's no slouch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then again, congratulations, Brooklyn.
I mean,
you did it
for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess for some reason I didn't. I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite because I didn't really mind when Golden State did it. But I think it's just because I like Steph Curry. I don't know.
Yeah,
Steph Curry's like whatever. I mean, he seems like
it feels like it wasn't as in your face as this.
No, and also like it was all homegrown talent. I feel right.
Yeah,
Green, and then Steph and Clay are all homegrown talent. But then they went and got
the best free agent ever.
Yeah, and they went and just got. And it's like, I mean, so I guess it's not the same thing because all 3 players went to Brooklyn.
Right. Where this one, it was more like, and even Harden was holding out, until they traded him. And but that may just be the new era of sports, man. I mean, because I think football players are doing that now. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just kind of forced his way out of Green Bay.
Talking about he's probably going to Denver. Like he's not going anywhere to win. I mean, I don't know. But they did kind of do Tampa Bay did kind of do that. But I don't know. It's. Tom Brady went and got people he was familiar with, right? He got running back.
Not only that, Tom Brady had like 2 kind of sucky years in between that, right? Like we didn't even know if it was going to be the same Brady.
He did. I mean, a lot of it was just, the Patriots just I don't know, man. They just didn't want to spend the money, and I don't know. They just kind of relied on Tom Brady for so many years, just bail them out of everything. As you get older, he can't do that. Like he can manage a game great. He can still throw the ball well. It's just he's not who he was.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy though that he goes on and wins a championship. I mean, it's just that's just true greatness.
Dude, that defense was just that Tampa Bay defense was incredible too. Like for them to destroy Kansas City the way they did, that is a defense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see his next 3 or 4 years, kind of see if he, continues to go downhill or
maybe a year left.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, just like Peyton. I mean, dude, father time catches up to everybody.
Yeah.
I guess his wife is kind of pressuring him to retire as well. So it's just like, let's see if he can run it back. See if he can run it back 1 year and then call it.
Right. But you know what, man? When you're that athlete and you're at that age, sure, I'm sure you want to quit, but you also know that this is it. Like this is a major chapter. What I've been doing since the age of 4 or however old he was, I've been playing this specific sport, and now I'm just supposed to, it's their identity. It's what makes them. It's the time with the guys. It's the coaching. It's the right. Like it's.
And that high of caliber player, that competition is just gonna eat them. So like, you either sit at home and wish you were playing or play, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, he was never supposed to be in that position either. I mean, if it wasn't for Bledsoe,
I know.
Bledsoe probably would have played for another 5 years.
Right.
Yeah. Because it really makes you wonder how many quarterbacks could have been good or great, but they just never got the chance. They just never had that, they were always the backup. They just, and even if they did get in, maybe they had a bad outing that one game, but that's gotta be such a battle. I mean, imagine being that athlete that's so great, the Tim Tebows of the world, like we were talking about last week. And it's just like, you're so athletic, but you're still not good enough. You're, what I'm saying? Like, that's just it's kind of,
well, let's
wild,
be honest. It was Peyton Manning that derailed Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning was and then Tim Tebow was out, and he was like, I want to, so then he moved
keep playing.
Patriots, and then that was that. You're not doing anything. Yeah. You're not doing anything under that team. That team's already stacked. So
exactly.
At the time they were, because that's when they had, I think, Garoppolo or Brissett and Tom Brady. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All about timing. NBA segment, and we talked about NFL.
Oh, well. All right. This was on Kevin's list. So TikTok.
Explain it first. What the Kevin asked what made Richard decide to get TikTok?
What made Richard decide to get TikTok?
So TikTok is just an app where people just get on there for like a minute, but then I think after you get so many followers or get a good standing with TikTok, you can get a 3-minute clip in. So basically all it is people just talking about their thoughts, right? To me, it's a lot different than Facebook, right? Because I think it takes more effort to sit there, speak your thoughts, upload it, and then send it to a community. And a lot of the time, the thoughts are sometimes pretty interesting, right? Whether it's whatever you're thinking. It's like there's, mask, no mask, vaccination, no vaccination. It's like it's everybody's thoughts in terms of how they feel and why. And it's like this normal people talking about it, right? It's not me watching Fox News or CNN or something else and getting some, somebody random's thought. It's like an actual person, right? That finds himself. And it's not just about that too. Like there's all kinds of sections of TikTok too. There's like Christian TikTok. There's like Black TikTok. There's, I follow everybody. But the one thing that caught me there was there's comedians on there too. And there's this one dude. His name escapes me, but he basically has like it's basically him and 3 personalities or whatever. And like one of them's blind and one of them is like, and they're all basically sons. And so they just say some of the stupidest stuff.
So they having a conversation.
But like, TikTok, that's the big thing was that's really what got me was the comedian clips.
Right. Because TikTok's like little quick segments, right? Like you can do one angle and then you do another angle and all that, right?
Yeah. So you can do like weird cuts. I'm trying to find what this guy's name is.
So you're basically saying it's like a video monologue. So like, I guess explain it to me. Is it kind of like YouTube and you kind of like fall into the side that you're on and you follow what you want? Like,
yeah, you can follow the people that you want, and the algorithm kind of picks up on what videos you watch all the way through, and so then it kind of shows you more videos like that. So I'm kind of getting a gamut of everything because I just watch whatever's put in front of me. So the guy's name is Jason Banks is his name is the one guy. I also follow like Chris Pratt, and then there's a couple other people on here that are pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of caught me, and I'll spend like maybe 20 minutes before I go to bed just kind of seeing what everybody's posted and what everybody's talking about. And the one thing I was talking to you about the other day, and this is going to kind of flow into the UFO thing. was
yeah.
apparently in the Christian TikTok. Well, there's two big things going on right now in Christianity. The first thing is the Great Deception, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with, like, in the Bible, there's this thing called the Great Deception where it said that people will try to deceive you into thinking that the rapture isn't happening.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to say that I don't really necessarily believe this per se, but it's just kind of an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're saying that the whole UFO thing is basically a deception thing, and they're saying that they're going to use the rapture and say that aliens are abducting people. That's how the government's going to cover up the rapture. So that's the Great Deception.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So the Great Deception is the government saying that the rapture
is actually UFO aliens taking people. And that's why you're getting the slow leak of alien thing. It's kind of preparing people for this going on. And so blending that into a few other things, they talk about this thing called, I think it's called CE5 meditation.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of it?
No, I just remember you texting. That's what it was.
They say it's a way to talk to aliens, right? Apparently it's like a new method of, and I guess a lot of famous people do this. Apparently it's big if you're into the famous community. And
hold on, do you have to be famous to talk to them or something? I mean,
no, but it's one of those things where it's like you have to pay money to learn how to do it, and it's really expensive to learn how to do it.
Yeah, so you got to be 1% for that,
right. And so the thing that sounds
like a scam I'm gonna watch on Netflix one day.
If you Google CE5, there's no information on it really. I mean, there's no way to.
Oh, really?
There's nothing on there. And the same thing with the Great Deception. None of this stuff is really floating out there if you Google it. But if you do if you watch enough videos and you kind of start tying everything together in terms of how they think. But it just kind of really caught me off guard. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't really sleep that night because I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was just
is this real? Yeah.
The inner child in me, was just what the hell? And then
yeah,
I was bullshit, whatever.
So you think so?
And then it's video after video after video. You keep watching it.
Well, no, I just watched one video on it, dude.
Okay.
The one video fucking me up.
Isn't it funny though that you go your whole life and you watch this one video and it completely makes your mind go, whoa, I never thought about that, or what if, or
I never did. And really, when you talk about theology, the one thing that will always attract me is if you start talking about theology in the Bible and things like that. And so when they combine that with aliens, I was just like, holy shit. Because there's always been this thing about how, aliens started life on Earth. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That's a thing where they say, aliens basically came to Earth and started life here, and that's why you see random jumps in technology and you see the pyramids is because then aliens came back and were pushed us along a little bit, said, okay, let's do this. Not that that's something I subscribe to per se, but it's just interesting to listen to and hear and just kind of go, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that we all of a sudden got all this stuff out of nowhere, seemingly.
Right. There's a lot to that. For sure.
Yeah. And I try not to go down the rabbit hole too much because it's I feel like if I do, I'll start getting consumed with it. So I just kind of slowly look at it and just kind of walk away from it.
Right.
But yeah. So, and then the second thing that is big on Christian TikTok is this thing. I forgot what the actual term of it is, but people are taking the Bible, right? And they're taking the Bible and they're taking the Hebrew version of it and they're actually retranslating the Bible into the correct text.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because we've had this discussion before where
right.
If you look at a Bible nowadays, it was brought to you by King James, and King James would be the perfect Christian. So he would tell the people transcribing the Bible to do this, do that, say this, say that. And, and you learn things, about where certain things come from, such as, the prostitute story about Jesus wasn't originally in the text. So it was, a brief footnote, and they didn't go into it as much as what is in the Bible. And then it's also interesting, the story of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John was not written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John or any of them. It was written by somebody totally different. and the story was retold like generations down the line, and they wrote it for them.
So is that proven? Like, is that?
I think it's proven in terms of how all of that was done in general and back then. So I'd have to look up more of it to kind of give you more information, but the videos that I watched on it were pretty interesting. I mean, cause it's scholars kind of saying, hey, this is, how these books were written, and the actual apostles didn't write these books. These were written third-hand accounts told down generations.
But
because
why?
ultimately a man wrote the Bible, like.
Right. Well,
that's what people
through the
don't.
Holy
Yeah.
Spirit, right? Where a man wrote, but it's supposedly through the Holy Spirit, right? That's the whole genesis of the Bible is God's word through man, right? Well, man writes it, but it's being told, like when you're in church, you have the Holy Spirit in you, and you praise whatever, and it's whatever. I mean, that's a lot more than what I can intelligently speak on, but. It's just all very interesting to me. So yeah, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of Christian TikTok, and it was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I mean, I've often said that is just, I understand that this is the Bible and that we're reading it and that it's got scriptures in it, but there are also some things that are in there that are very blunt, and it's like, was that the writing of just a man who felt this way, or is this really through God? Or, what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example, I guess, but I mean, I know like the homosexual, right? There's a couple scriptures about that kind of makes it makes it sound like you can't love Jesus and and be a homosexual or something. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Richard? That
I mean, I think the important thing to think about is, I want to say, I can't say 100%, but from what I understand about the scripture in terms of homosexuals, like we talk about scripture, New Testament, Old Testament, right? That was all Old Testament stuff, right? The whole purpose of Jesus coming on earth is saying everybody can get into heaven. Just please believe in me. And not only that, but only I can decide who gets into heaven. That's a game changer right there, right? So if you saying to me, hey, you're gay, so you're going to hell, like that's not even if you do live in sin, right? Even if you do, it's up to, supposedly according
to Christ.
Right, is according to Christ,
to decide
whether or not you get into heaven. There is no magic. You do this, you do that. That's what we're also confused with. Someone on their deathbed that did really bad in life, and all of a sudden they believe in Jesus, and now they're getting into heaven, right? That's kind of a false statement, right? Because it's like in the end, it's like he says it's up to me whether or not you get into heaven. So
at the end of the day, your judgment doesn't mean anything,
right?
From what I understand,
right? It's nothing about it's. Yeah, I mean, Jesus on the cross literally took a thief and put him into heaven, right? I mean, Jesus throughout his history took people that were less than desirable and rose them up, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, but even God in the Old Testament, right? So God in general has a history of taking people that are less than desirable and raising them up, right? We can even take, how people, a lot of Christians in general, are shitting all over George Floyd because he was a drug addict and all that. But it's like, okay, but as a Christian, you should know and understand that God has a history of taking these people and raising them up to something better and using them, right? He did it with Job, he did it with, Peter, and then
Paul too.
Yeah, he did it with Paul. He did, he did it with the thief. He literally, the guy hanging on the cross right next to him was a thief. Took him God and Jesus have history of taking people that are less than desirable and using them for the betterment of mankind. So it's just things like it's confusing to me.
Yeah,
when we're talking about and the reason why I'm talking about that is because the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd just kind of hit.
Yes, sir.
I hear a lot of people complaining that George Floyd's being used as a martyr, yet he was this and that. And it's like, yeah, but you also believe in a Bible and a God that took people like that, and used them for better.
Right. Yeah. Huh. So So I guess, where I get confused too is like, kind of talking about the alien thing again. Like, if there is truth to that, then how does that affect religion in general, right? Because we believe that God created everything, right? But if the aliens wasn't a part of this creation, and if there is some foreign object, and obviously when we say aliens, we're not talking about little green men that have been Hollywoodized. Where there's something out there that we do not know what it is. It's rising from the sea. It's disappearing very quickly. We've kind of touched on this a few weeks ago, but so yeah. So I don't know, Rich, if you can explain that. How does that tie into if there is proof that there's another life form out there, how does that affect the gospel?
I don't think it does necessarily, because a lot of the gospel is, because I don't recollect anywhere in the Bible saying that God only made earth and God only made man. I don't recall that anywhere, in terms of religion per se. I don't know if it changes religion as a whole though. It's because, I guess the Bible does say that, man was God's favorite. He favored God over the angels and all that. So it's hard to, I don't know.
And who are the angels?
Huh?
And as I said, who are the angels?
Yeah, that's the other thing, is like, are angels really like what we think angels are? Are angels literally aliens that are above us? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and this is why when people have questions about God, you're like, you have to understand. You have to understand, like, God is to you what you are to your 1-year-old child. Right? It's like there's no way a 1-year-old is going to understand how I do certain things and how I make certain decisions, because that 1-year-old, none of it makes sense, and all he knows is things work somehow or shape.
Right.
But it's
Right.
the same perspective I feel like with God. It's like, I'm a 1-year-old and there's no way I'm going to understand what, and even when a 1-year-old asks you questions, right? If a 1-year-old were to ask you a question and it's just a question, he's just not really going to understand the answer to, or it's an appropriate answer that you would give him, you give him a simplified answer, right? So we say angels.
And then,
Right.
And then we got to sit there and wonder.
Was it angels? And then as you get older, you're like, is Santa really not real? And you're like, well, are angels really, aliens? It's just, you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all on what you believe, right? It's all about faith.
Yeah, it's all right. It's, faith is, belief in things not seen, right? That's literally what that is. It's like you don't know it and you don't see it, but you believe it, right? It's just. Yeah.
So how do you think? Because I always talk about how, like, there's so many different religions and there's so many different, cultures and upbringings, and that's the part I always struggle with. That it's like, because we're in America and our primary religion is Christianity or whatever, it's like we're the lucky ones that have the right religion. Like that's I've mentioned that a lot, but
yeah, I think it's almost it's one of those things where I kind of look at it and I'm like, do people think God is so stupid and ignorant that he would not understand that there are different cultures and bring them to him in different ways? Like, do you just think that God's only going to think some random white dude or black dude in America is going to believe in him? Like, it's not, you don't think he's not like, you don't think he has like an advertising thought of like, hey, this person does this and that person does that, so I'm going to have to present myself differently.
Yeah, but I guess to me, it's more of like, different countries think that they're going to heaven. No different than the dudes that ran the planes into the Twin Towers. They were doing that for their God.
Yeah,
right.
Christians do things for the God we believe.
Their God,
whatever.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
Anything good can be used for bad, right? That's just the way it is.
But I guess obviously that was a bad thing, but if I'm sure that was a radical guy, and I'm sure not all people choose their faith like this, those guys did, but I guess I just often wonder what the religion is like in these other countries, because they probably think they have it right. They think, because that's what mommy and daddy raised them on, and that's what their beliefs are, right? Like that's
why couldn't it be right? Why couldn't they be right too?
That's kind of what
I think that's what Blake's saying. Yeah,
I do think
how do you know which one is right?
Right. I think they think that they're not, and to be in like such a closed-minded, like you just, I mean, I think it would be an insult to God, to be like, well, he's, obviously he can only, do this thing without even thinking about them over there and their culture. And like, do you think he's that
Right.
short-minded?
So I think Richard is saying like it's like the only way I can describe this is like, all right, there's different Disney worlds, right? But everybody knows Mickey Mouse, right? So are you saying like these different religions all are kind of like translating to the same God? Like they can all identify that there is a God, but it's just a
Yeah,
different language and a
right.
different way that they
There's
practice.
different
Like
perspective.
there's a different Mickey Mouse and he speaks this language. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I
there's
love how we use Mickey Mouse.
Hey, I had
You
to
were
break it down
trying.
some kind of way.
You were trying.
Mickey Mouse is universal, right?
Yeah, he's universal.
Yeah, that's true.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know. And in the end, I could be wrong. I'm no, expert in it, but it's
Right.
naturally, I would think, if your God is all seeing and your God is almighty and your God has the plan, then why wouldn't that be part of the plan?
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of, it just hits me, I guess from the upbringing that the church I was raised in and just how strict it was and how it's just like, there was just this thin white line that you had to walk or you're just simply not going to heaven. Like, period.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
like, I know. And I know I've got to like get that out of my system, but
I've never subscribed to that thought. Even when I was going to Bible college, like I've never subscribed to that thought. And I always thought that people that felt that way, I mean, it was like, if anything, I think you might be the one going to hell because you're the one giving God a bad name. Right. And you think he appreciates that. And I don't know. It's like this. It's like what the old DC Talk saying, right? The number one cause of atheists is Christians.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Those lyrics still ring. Still ring true.
Every day. Yep. I got my workout music for tomorrow night.
Oh, do you? I love it. I love that you listen to DC Talk to. That's awesome. Hey, man, speaking of your working out, dude, good job. You've been losing some pounds, huh?
Yeah, just getting older, man. You just kind of look at it and you're like, I'd like to kind of hang out a little bit while after my kids graduated and maybe go see the world. And
yeah,
so it's just like, you can only go to the doctor so many times before they tell you, look, man, your blood pressure's high. And you're like, oh man, I'm going to die of a stroke in my 50s. So
yeah,
it's just kind of get to that age where it's like, either you do it and you live longer or you don't and you just wing it.
I mean, it's, I don't exercise probably as much as I'd like. I tend to watch what I eat more than anything, but you're right, man. I mean, and it's so easy to put on those pounds and get lazy and, I mean, so yeah, I'm very cautious of it. What's that?
Especially this past year.
Oh yeah.
That was the big thing
for you, man.
It was there's a YouTube series on called Built with Science.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that does it. I can't think of his name. I think it's like Jeremy something. But the name of the program is called Built with Science, and you don't have to buy anything. He has like programs you can buy if you want to, but he basically puts everything out for free, and he kind of explains. And I think the big thing that kind of clicked with me was he was talking about how a lot of people, when they make the decision to be healthy, they make the decision drastically, right? Instead of saying I'm going to be healthy, they go, I'm going to go on keto. I'm going to go on
exactly.
I'm gonna do this. And he's like, you should do what you can do, right? And he kind of explains calorie deficit, and he says, if you eat 3,500 calories, you've just ate a pound. Right. So if you eat in excess of 3,500 calories in a week, you've gained a pound, right? Your body will burn 2,500 calories a day around there. Right.
Oh, wow.
If you eat 3,500 a day without working out, you've gained a little bit over 2 pounds that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. We kind of explained that. And then when I was like, oh shit. So then like I got a calorie thing and I was just like, and I've basically lost weight like every week doing this, just like, and I still eat what I want, dude. I had like McDonald's for dinner. Like I'll have Dairy Queen with my kids, but I put in my calories.
Right. You just keep track of your calories.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll plan. Some days I'll plan. I'll go, okay, well, tonight I know we're going to celebrate a birthday and this is what we're going to have. I'll pre-count all my calories for the day. And then I know I'm good to go. So it's
That's good.
It's
Yeah, I think I kind of do that already. Like I'll think like, I mean, even if I go to Chick-fil-A and I get if I don't do grilled and I do the fried, like I
right.
won't do fries. I'll do a little salad or something. Like I just always try to I always try to think of like, what does my body need? You know, it needs proteins and it needs some vegetables and it needs water. So it's like I try to get that in every meal. I don't, you know, and listen, everyone's body's different. You know, I've always been thin. You know, I haven't really had to, you know, really watch what I eat, but I still do
Yeah.
because trying not to look like you, Dad. I know he's listening.
Yeah, it is, you know, I don't know, dude. Like I hit 40 and I was just like, I just started thinking, man, I was like, man, am I gonna make it to 60?
You will.
You know,
Medicine's too good. Medicine's too good to not, you know. But I mean, look, if you're feeding yourself, you know, Mountain
if you
Dew
think
and
of
you know,
garbage and your blood pressure's high, then it's like,
yeah, then you
that's
won't.
only gonna do so much.
Yeah.
Drop dead all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right.
But so here's the question though: do you enjoy working out?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got it down where like I think Kevin and I were talking about the other day, where like when I do my cardio, I'll watch like a wrestling biography, like, and that's the only time I'll let myself watch it. So like I look forward to like, oh, it's not working out.
That's
It's time for me to watch
Yeah.
my wrestling biography.
yeah, and then
Right.
you can
When I
burn
do it,
a couple hundred.
when I do it, I gotta trick myself like that too.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I do my strength days, it's like, oh, it's time for me to listen to my podcasts. Like there are
Right.
podcasts I will only listen to on my strength training days. So
That's good.
and then you rotate it too, and that helps too. It's like I'm not doing the same thing every day.
Right.
That's helpful.
Right. Are you following like a program, or you just kind of each day you're doing your own thing?
So the YMCA has this thing called the e-gym. So
Oh yeah.
what I do is every other day I'll do elliptical. I started running, but then my knee started to hurt, and then I said, okay, I can't do this. I can't run anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm
It's so hard on your knees.
And so I went on the elliptical. So I do about 3.5 to 4 miles every other day on the elliptical. And it's easy. So I can, you know, I burn a lot of calories doing the elliptical. As a matter of fact, I've kind of found out. So then on my strength days, I go to this thing called the e-gym. And the e-gym is basically 11 machines all set up in a row. And they give you this bracelet. And the first time you go, you talk to a trainer, and the trainer sets you up. And what he does is he adjusts the seats the way it's supposed to be so that your body's functionally doing it correctly. And what that does is it locks you in on your account. So when you badge in, the seats automatically adjust, the things automatically.
That's amazing.
So you're good to go. And then also you do this thing called a strength test. So you kind of just push as hard as you can against whatever machine you're on. And then it says, okay, this is your maximum strength. So this is what, you know, so then it kind of dials down like, okay, you have to do this rep 20 times. This is what I'm going to give you. So you're going to do 100 reps of 20 or 20 reps.
Wow.
So depending upon what the exercise is. And there's 11 different machines. So you basically hit, you know, you hit almost every muscle in your body.
Yeah, I bet.
With that being said, it's not as, so I've been thinking about jumping over to free weights. Just because they say that free weights are actually better in terms of like stabilizing your body because you technically use more muscles. But this in general has been really good. And like every week I've done my strength test and I've gone up in weights and everything. So it's
that's awesome.
Nice.
So are you actually lifting weights? So you said you were pushing against something.
So yeah, so the machines are like, so you have the machine,
all
you have
different.
chest lift,
He's doing machines.
Yeah, which is basically, you know, the bench press, and then you have the rowing machines, and then you have the leg press.
I got you.
So you lift, it's just on a machine.
I got you. Okay.
Some people look down on machines because it's like,
but you're
like
in there.
It's like whatever.
You're in there. You're doing something. Yeah.
I'm still pressing. So I'm still sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm having a good time. So
yeah, you're 40.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. You're not in the mirror flexing. You know.
Oh no, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, not yet. I'll be there.
This time next year, I'll be wearing a cutoff T-shirt.
Yes, with sleeves.
That's
and
right.
Your new truck and your new shoes.
That's right.
I was so happy you bought those shoes. For those that are listening, Richard said he was going to buy some Kawhi Leonard New Balances, and I was like, dude, if you're buying basketball shoes, you can only buy Jordans. And then 2, buy these. I was just looking at those shoes earlier, and I was just like, because they were, like basically almost half off.
Yeah.
And I just bought 2 new pairs, so I couldn't justify it. But then you happened to text that, and I was like, Richard would love these shoes, and I sent it to you. Trust me, I bought my wife a pair. I tell everybody about those shoes. The Nike Air or Nike React.
Yeah.
No, it's not Air Max. It's called Nike React. I think there might be another word in there, but man, they fit like a sock. They're so comfortable. So
it'll be here,
hopefully you like them.
They'll be here next Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to it.
You can do the show with your feet on the table.
Right.
So we.
I'm gonna update.
The Kawhi laugh.
All right, let's hit the wheel.
All right, Kevin. Kevin, I think this was you.
Summer break.
Summer break. Are you basically asking what we're doing for vacation?
I'm just asking, what do you guys get? I mean, what do you guys do in preparation with having kids and stuff like that?
So my wife's a teacher, so she basically just hangs out with the kids. So I'm lucky. Her last day is June 16th, and Jacob's is actually she does summer school too.
Okay.
So since she's at a private school, they have her do like 3 weeks of summer school, but whatever. That is what it is. Jacob's last day is tomorrow. So he'll hang out with grandma and grandpa for a couple of weeks, and then mom will take over, and then both the kids go to school in August. So
get them back in.
Nothing changes for us, man. Just because they're homeschooled, so it just seems like it's rinse and repeat every day. So I mean, they'll probably go to their Grammys, a little bit more. They're at my mom's right now, actually. But we got Memorial Day weekend coming up too. Do you guys do anything for Memorial Day?
Sitting around the house, man. Sunday will be the race in my neighborhood. So I'm kind of on lockdown that weekend.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
We'd take our kids over to your house for that day and you'd watch them.
I know, man. Yeah, drop them off.
That always seems
to be able to get back. Yeah.
Watch our kids.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to do something for Mother's Day, but we ended up not doing it because of the rain. And I'm trying to pull it up. So there's some sort of a cave thing up in, I think I want to say it's northern or southern. Oh, Blue Spring Caverns. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
No, it's in Indiana.
Okay.
So it's basically an hour-long boat ride in a cave.
Ooh.
So I think we're gonna try and do it, and it's only like 2 hours away, if even that. It's not even
fun.
That. So yeah, so basically it's a 1 hour tour, and you descend 400 feet to reach the river. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So basically, they're showing like little pictures. There's like cave salamanders, and there's like a little trail you can hike.
And it's good for the kids.
Yeah, there's like there's gemstone mining, nature trails, boat tours, a park.
Actually sounds really cool.
So yeah, we're gonna try and do that on Sunday. So just so we have a day of rest after.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, we're going down to my mother-in-law's, so I'll be camping and fishing and hanging out with Dirty and Nika and the kids, and yeah, it'd be fun.
My daughter has this weird thing about me taking her camping all of a sudden.
She's been listening to that podcast.
Like all of a sudden, she's like, "You gotta take me camping." And I was
"Hey, do you have like a backyard big enough to set up a tent?"
We do. We're gonna do that. Yeah. After we were waiting for the.
Yeah, I would try that first.
Our backyard's not getting cleaned out till August, so.
Yeah, that's right.
So after all,
do that one night. You can set up air mattresses in there, or if you have those, and do a fire, and that especially for that age, that's
what we talked about doing. Just doing that. I was like, I think that's all I can handle. That's about it. Like my body can't. I don't think my body can handle a full on camping experience anymore. Like I have a sleep number bed. I get out of it and I'm sore as shit the next day.
Me too.
Me too. It's ridiculous now.
And
I thought about getting down doing push-ups this morning. And I was like, fuck that. Like I'm not.
I just had this battle with sleeping. I'm good.
Yeah, you're like, I'll go to the gym and push a machine. I ain't doing no push-up.
I'm not getting on my hands and knees. I can't.
I know, man.
About it, it's like it's not even desirable. Like I just don't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked you earlier if you enjoy the working out, because it's like running is just torturous. Like I know it's somewhat good for you.
Yep.
It's hard on the joints, but
that's one of the big things that they said on this YouTube page. He was like, get a routine that you enjoy. Like
yes,
because like it doesn't have to be something brutal. Like he said, you know, he was like, look, people walk for like 10 minutes a day and you're fine. And as long as you're getting a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight regardless.
You're gonna be good.
Yeah. So
as long as you're watching what you eat, you're gonna be good ultimately anyway. But if you get a little bit of activity, no matter what, you're good.
And when you start counting the calories, it blows you away, because you don't realize 100 calories, 500 calories, like chips, sodas. I mean, that's stuff.
You
beer.
drink a lot of more calories than anything.
That's the big things. I haven't really drank alcohol since I've started this, because it's like I view it as a waste, because it's like I got to count my calories.
Yeah,
I'd rather have like an ice cream sandwich or something else if I'm gonna have like a treat. Like I
like beer. Eat them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
it really, that's what it really, because you're right. Everyone focuses on that working out, which you have to, because you gotta do something, but like you said, even just going on a walk, it's going to burn some calories and get you moving. But
something you enjoy.
What's that?
Just something you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, three more.
We're gonna bust these out.
Blake's favorite.
Oh God.
All right, so
no masks June 7th.
No masks June 7th. I think this is
Marion County.
For I think businesses can still say you need, because I know, like, I was looking at AMC theaters and they explicitly said that just because your local authority says you don't have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask here. So
work is gonna be tough.
I think my work is basically saying if you give your vaccine card to HR, you don't have to wear a mask.
Oh, nice.
So it's but they're saying that you can choose not to wear a mask. However, if you get COVID, you have to use your own PTO.
Really? Yeah. How are they going to prove if you're wearing a mask and all that, though? People
are going to see you wearing masks or not.
Well, I know, but I mean,
they got tapes.
You could wear it every day, and then you have one day you come back from lunch and you don't have it on or something. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be hard for them to really. It's going to have to be a set in stone rule, or you're going to have people, because people are still going to be against it.
Not necessarily not a mask. I think it's like if you're unvaccinated. Like if you're not vaccinated and you get COVID, like the decision was that you
I see what you're saying.
To use your PTO, whereas if you are vaccinated, they'll give you some leeway.
That's interesting. So if you're I bet there'll be a lot of people probably have problems with that, but I don't know. I feel like I kind of haven't been wearing my mask for like the last month, and no one says anything.
I mean, I think
I think it's gotten a lot looser the last month.
At this point in time, it's like, okay. I mean, at this point in time, let's just let people do whatever they want to do, and whoever is going to go. Like it's
like they're just holding on. They're just holding on. It's like it's over, guys. I mean, it's not over. Like we all are aware of it. If you want to protect yourself, wear a mask. I mean, we've been down this road, like, but we got to get to the point where you got to tell people it's okay to go out, though. Like, I think we got to eliminate that fear from people's lives and just, I just, because once again, we're still talking about a very, very small percentage.
I think for the most part, people are okay. Because I mean, whenever I go out, it's like crazy nowadays. Like it's
like it's
I go get food and it's like packed all of a sudden. It's like, well, I mean, it's, after almost a year of everything being dead, it's just amazing. Like,
people have went on and
lights went off, man. It's so it is what it is. I just think at this point in time, look, if just let people do what they want to do at this point in time. I think the people that want the vaccination probably have gotten it by now, because we have a surplus of it. So for the people that don't have the vaccination and choose not to wear the mask, then okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I saw some on the news today where different states and counties were like giving out cash prizes and stuff
Oh
like that
yeah,
for people getting vaccinated, like entering it in.
lottery.
So
Like
yeah,
Ohio,
so trying to
$1 million. Like they're doing a drawing for 5
like a
people,
mega million, yeah.
It's
and then
so silly.
if you're under 18, they're going to give you a full ride
Well,
scholarship.
they're just trying to get people to buy into it. They're just trying to get the
But
more
why?
people
Like, but
because they think the more people, then the less this you have to deal with
yeah,
it.
but you're giving away. I mean, have we ever done anything like that? Like giving away prizes for people to go get a shot? That's
I mean,
causing some people to get really sick. I mean, it's just silly.
yeah,
Like it's just,
I'm trying to think of something close to it. I can't.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying. I guess if you want to give away prize, I just think it's crazy that's gotten to the point where it's just so public.
I think they're desperate to reach herd immunity at this point. Like,
Yeah.
we got to get to that 70-80%.
Really?
To reach that herd immunity so that everybody's protected.
Yeah. Does anybody have a stat like on how many people have been vaccinated? Like,
I think in Indiana it's just over 50%.
50%. That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean yeah,
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just at this point in time we're at 55%, and it's like there's an abundance of vaccines. So you're looking at it like, well, I don't know if we're ever going to reach herd immunity at this point in time.
No.
Yeah.
So
there'll be people out there that's like me that are probably just. I don't even think about it. I literally don't have any thoughts of going and getting vaccinated, or I don't know if that makes me a bad person. But I don't do it for the flu. Now if they say we have to for the better of everybody, then I guess I'll do it. But I don't want to volunteer to get sick.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that it's going to come down to that. I think it's going to come down to you being inconvenienced or something. You know what I'm saying?
well, like
I know.
like
It'll take my freedoms away.
like in New York, I guess there's some sort of vaccine card you get now on your phone, and
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
show it to enter.
That's crazy.
Like concerts and things like that. So I don't know. And then also there are some places too. If you don't have a vaccination, you can't enter that state.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy, man.
I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna do all this. I'm like, look, I think
Yeah, you're gonna stop everybody that walks in, comes in. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I go to a gas station and it says, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. No one's gonna stop me. No one's gonna be like, "Can I see your?" You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Yeah. I think the big thing is like what Kevin said. It's gonna be like large gatherings.
Yeah, like the LeBron thing. Like the NBA didn't do anything to him because everybody was vaccinated.
Everybody was
and everybody had a COVID test, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be like that. That like it's gonna be stuff like, hey, we got this cruise ship, but you got to be vaccinated. You got to show proof of being vaccinated. Like, I think it's gonna be things like that. I don't think they're gonna stop you from living your life.
Right. But it's not true, really. I mean, it's like even to travel certain countries, you need to have a vaccine card. Like it's always been that way in these countries.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a new concept, right? In order to go to a country, you would have to get a vaccination because they got over there that you might bring back over here. So you got to get vaccine first. Right. So it's the concept itself isn't new. It's not crazy. Because I mean, even I don't know, like even
I think it's just crazy if they make it to where you can't go to specific places and all that. I mean, I guess I get the other countries, but like if you can't go to the movie theater, if you can't get on a plane, but I don't know. I mean,
I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to do what you have to do to protect everybody else, right? It's a decision that people have made, and like I said, at this point in time, I'm like, if you're not going to get it, just don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to understand that decisions aren't going to be made by other people to protect the community, right? Whether that is like, hey, to get on this plane full of people from all over the country,
right?
Everybody here needs to be vaccinated because we don't want shit going everywhere.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because the businesses are going to protect themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like I said, it's at this point in time, I just think it's like do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, let's just get on with it.
Vaccine, just don't. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, 2 more guys.
Two more.
Unemployment goes bye-bye.
Yeah, I almost segued.
Bye.
I almost segued into that. I was just when I went to Arby's earlier, it said $50 sign-on bonus, and I looked over at my daughter Ella, and I go, "Hey, they literally can't get employees. They're trying to pay people extra to come work
Yeah.
here." You know, and I just
Everybody's
said
like
it's
that
a
right now.
mess.
I think it was McDonald's was giving out iPhones or something too.
God,
Like
man,
Dude,
how
I
about
went in.
pay your employee. Like just pay your employees. Like
Yeah.
I think there are like statistics out there that show that a waiter's minimum wage of $2.13 was that way in like the 90s.
yeah,
Right.
yeah? It was like that when I was. I mean, that was 20 years ago when I was waiting
How much?
tables. So.
Like, and they say that the average rent in the 90s was like $600.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
That minimum wage has not gone up. The average
Nope.
rent now is $1,600.
Yeah. Dude,
So
it's impossible to keep up. Like impossible. It's so hard to stay ahead.
I went to McDonald's over the weekend, and the drive-through line was so long, so I went inside. There's nothing but kiosk in there. Nothing but kiosk in there right now.
Hey, and they don't complain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they
You
show
do
up
your
on
order.
time.
you don't need
You
help.
do your order, and
Yeah,
somebody
every once
shoves it for you.
in a while they go down. You
They
got to
gotta be
reboot
reset. Yeah,
it.
but I mean,
Yeah, but that's gonna
it's
be the
crazy.
future.
Yeah, and then I went into Target, and they had their signs on there. They needed employees. It's starting you off at, I think it was $16 an hour, which I thought that was pretty decent.
And what's going to happen because of that is just their prices on everything's going to go up,
Yeah,
and then
it's
we
already
have to
going
pay
up.
for it. Yeah,
That's the
I
way
mean-
Australia is. Like Australia is this way too, right? The minimum wage is like 20 something dollars, right? But like, say for instance, Kevin, this is something.
Minimum wage $20.
Yeah, it's like $21. It's
Wow.
but like this is something you and I can relate to. A video game over here is $60, right?
Yeah.
Over in Australia is like $80. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all relevant.
the other thing you have to look
relative.
at too is like a lot of these other countries that do this kind of thing. They also have like universal health care. They have all these other things too that are tied into, not only are you
minimum
getting
wage, yeah.
more of a wage, but you're not paying $400, $800 a month for private
Right.
health insurance. You're only paying like a percentage of your check, right? So instead of paying $800 a month for private health insurance, that may not, and then also on top of that, you also have to pay for, what is it, the $3,000 to $10,000 you have to pay before health insurance even kicks in, right?
Right.
None of that happens with universal health care, right?
Yeah.
All you do with universal health care is everybody that has a job pays a flat percent into the system, and then you're covered.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how it should be.
It all balances out.
Right, it all balances out. Right, so if the way the U.S. does things is just it really does show you we're a capitalist country that really looks out for the companies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there, and I just feel like there's no end to it, right? Because like it's like when gas prices go up, and then it takes me an extra $15 to fill up my car. I have no say. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going
Right.
to get that. I'm not going to get that extra $15 from work. I'm not going to get it from anywhere. It came from my top dollar, right? It's gone. Or if I spend it on food or clothes or whatever, like it doesn't matter. It's like it's gone. And I mean, like I said, I'm in the trucking industry, and we're raising our rates on our trailers. That means every company has to raise their rates on where they're, and then eventually it hits us because we're the ones buying it.
And not only that, I mean, it's costing you your company more money because they have to get fuel, right? So maybe that's why they're raising prices too.
Yeah, or my company will raise the prices of the trailer, but we ain't getting no raises.
You don't see that.
We won't see that. It's frustrating, man. I've used this example before. I remember getting a raise when I was at Miller. As soon as I got the raise, our insurance went up.
Yep.
I got no raise. I got nothing.
You just got it to cover that. Yeah.
I got nothing.
You got what's called a living wage raise.
Yeah.
You got just enough to cover whatever thing.
Cost of living. Yeah.
And look, I mean, I feel like it's almost set up that way to where it's just impossible to it's just impossible. I mean, it's no different than what happened to you, Richard. It's like you're doing great, and then there's something happens to your house, and you're out all this money, and then it's like you gotta rebuild it. It's just this.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just it's life. You can't let it eat you up, because it will eat you up.
Yeah.
You gotta just like you did. You just rolled with the punches, and
Mhm.
you're healthy. You're here, and you're still okay.
I can poop in a clear line now. Go straight.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, and that's worth $22,000.
That's right.
it is. It is.
We were paying off that van, and then I was going to get an electric truck. Screw all that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a few more years down the road.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe I'll just wait another year or two, and I'll buy one when it's used.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Then it's 30 family.
I'm assuming in the next 5 to 10 years we're going to see a lot of different type of electric cars. And,
Oh yeah, they're already companies
every
are
manufacturer
fleets of these electric cars. Like it's just gonna be the way to go in terms of.
I just think with this if the gas spikes up this time, that's all you're gonna see, and that's all that's gonna bring the price of gas down. Is that?
Yep.
It's like that's kind of what I was gonna say earlier. It's like I'm waiting for this moment where it's just like something happens where things are just cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Houses become cheaper, cars become cheaper. Like, and maybe the Tesla, we found a way to make cars cheaper. They're now they're electrical, and this you can save money in XYZ ways, to drive,
Balance it out,
yeah. But all that is just supply and demand, right? I mean, when someone puts out a Cadillac for 60, 70, 80 grand and thousands of people buy it, well, guess what? They're going to continue to put them out at that price, So until people stop buying, then they'll stop raising the prices.
Yep.
All right, hit the other one. Did we even talk about unemployment? Oh, yeah, we were just talking about how it's running out.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
That's it. The other
one
was something that we had already talked about. So.
Okay.
See, we did have a lot.
We did. It was.
We always do. You
time.
came with them, Kevin.
Hour and 15 minutes.
Hey,
yeah.
I just rattled some stuff off, man. I did what Richard does and looked at what's trending.
That's right. We didn't even get to talk about John Cena.
What?
Oh, I saw something about him on the news this morning.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to pause this because I just want to say something.
Go for it.
About John Cena and that incident, right?
Hold on. What happened? What happened?
So basically, John Cena.
Are we still live?
We are live.
Okay.
John Cena was doing an interview for Fast and Furious 9 or whatever the new movie is, right? And he was doing, and he just offhandedly said Taiwan was a country, right? And then China got salty about it because Taiwan, I guess, is part of China. It's not its own country, supposedly. I don't know how that works.
Oh, so he misspoke.
And then he apologized. So now everybody's pissy with John Cena for apologizing to China.
Oh my God, dude!
But
this isn't news. Like,
you can't win. Hold on, you can't even win.
If he doesn't apologize to
stupid.
China, guess what happens? China says you can't bring your movie in here. Not only can you bring that movie in here, but you can't bring any of those movies from those studios in here now. So now, thanks to John Cena saying that and refusing to apologize, a lot of people would be out of jobs. They're, company. So he just apologized. So now it's a problem. So it's like these people don't understand. It's like
they don't.
It's not just him. Like he's not just apologizing because he's scared. He's apologizing because he is a major star that is responsible for a lot of freaking jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and he misspoke.
And he
bad.
misspoke. Yeah. I mean, even though there are people that don't agree with it, and I might be one of them, and other people might be one of them. Dude, like you had to do what you had to do to protect families. Right. There are little people that do makeup. There are little people that do wardrobe. There are little people that do lights. There are people that do CGI. I mean, there's just
it's
see the credits when these movies roll.
Yeah. It's like, a lot of people's lives you're affecting.
That he would have affected if he wouldn't have just said, my bad.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's just,
and then he should have just went like this and said, "You can't see me."
Can't see me, yeah.
Or did it over his ears. You can't hear me say things.
Right.
Say the wrong thing.
I think people are just so quick, to just get on a keyboard and just
but see, I always go back to this. It is such a small amount of people that are doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the majority of people have zero clue what John Cena said, what he did, or care. Like 98%
They didn't even know what was going on. They just
have no idea. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there was a study that was done, and they said a lot of this outrage and everything aren't even Americans. It's like
it's bots.
It's on fake Russian bot accounts.
Yes, dude. I swear we're in a game, man. I swear people are just. I really wonder how bad it is. I really honestly wonder how bad it is.
Yeah, I don't just live your life. Live your life.
Live it.
Block it all out.
Yep. Yeah. Don't live in fear. Did I say anything racist this time?
Nope.